Minecraft 1.21.5 brings animal variants, new plant life, nature atmosphere, and a lot of much needed smaller changes. Good on, my name is MagentaLewi and welcome to another Minecraft update video. If you don't want to miss out on any essential updates to Minecraft, but don't want to waste your time on videos about bug fixes and code changes in every single snapshot, subscribing to my channel is the perfect way to only get the news worth knowing, and it also helps a small YouTuber grow. Minecraft 1.21.5 is out now, so let's get straight into the new features. Let's start with the new blocks, then block and item changes, then new mobs, and finally mob changes. First new block is the leaf litter, and as you can see it falls down here underneath the trees in forests, dark forests, and also wooded badlands. There is 1 to 4 in each block, and it will look different based on which direction you put it in. As you can see here, you can craft leaf litter by just burning any leaf types, and the leaf litter itself can also be used as fuel. So as this runs over, you will see that we get more leaf litter. Finally, it can also be broken with any and no tools. Next up is the fallen trees, and these can spawn as oak, spruce, birch like this one, or even as jungle trees, and they will only spawn where they have space to do so. So as you can see, there's also one over there. It's more likely with the birch forests because there's more space in between the trees and they're also not as tall as other trees. But with the jungle trees, for an example, they will be more rare. With this one, you can see they fall over just like that with a block in between. And there's also a chance of mushrooms growing on them or even vines growing on the side. Another new block in the game is the wildflower. And as you can see, they spawn here in the birch forest and also in the meadows. Just like leaf litter, there can be 1 to 4 in a block, and they will also change the look of them when you change your orientation when placing them. When bone mealed, you will get more flowers, just like with any of the tall flowers. You can also lure bees with these, of course, and they can also be crafted into yellow dye. Finally, the wildflowers can also be broken with any or no tools at all. Next up is the bush, and these can be found in the plains, all windswept biomes, by rivers, in forests, and also in the birch forest. They will be tinted by the grass color of the biome that they spawn in. They can be composted, and if you bone meal them, it will spawn another one right next to them, just like the glow lichen, and they can also be broken with any or no tools at all. The other new bush is the firefly bush, and they will spawn in swamps and also near rivers like this. In the dark, glowing fireflies will appear around it, and that will give off a light level of 2. These are as well compostable, and when bone mealed, they will do just like the bush and then spawn another bush next to it. And finally, these can also be broken with any and no tools at all. Another new flower in this update is the cactus flower. And as you can see here, it has a 10% chance of spawning on top of a 1 to 2 block tall cactus. And if it is a 3 block tall cactus or more, it will have a 25% chance of spawning the flower. So if we look around here, you can see there are a few others around dotted here in the desert, but not on all cactus. This one is also compostable, and it can also be used to lure bees. And finally, you can also craft it into pink dye. The final new block in the game is the dry grass, which will spawn in deserts and badlands, and it can be placed on sand, on all terracotta, and all dirt blocks. When bone mealing the short dry grass, it will turn into tall dry grass, and then bone mealing that will spawn short dry grass around it. The dry grass is both compostable, and you can also use it as fuel when you want to smelt something in your furnace. Unlike any of the other new plants, this one cannot be taken by just using your hands, but you actually need shears to get the item out of it. Now getting into the changed blocks and items, you can actually hear the first change here, and that is whenever you stand on sand or any terracotta, there is now a lot of new atmospheric sounds, and they're not very loud, but you should be able to hear them right now if I just shut my mouth. The lodestone is now no longer crafted with a netherite ingot, but now you can just use an iron ingot to make it. As you've probably already seen in the video, all trees now spawn falling leaves. Bundles now also spawns inside of villages, making them even easier to get and use in early game. All the spawn eggs has also gotten a new look, looking way more like the mob they are actually spawning, and as you can see here, the monster spawner, the trial spawner, and the creek and heart is now also under spawn eggs. But it is very easy to see which one are which, and as you can see here, the chicken egg is way smaller than, for an example, the cow egg, because the cow is bigger than the chicken. And then that is basically the only rule, and then there's just a lot of different eggs here. And as you can see, all pillagers and villagers have huge noses, for an example, and some have ears, if it makes sense. And there's just a lot of new cool textures. I talked a lot about this in my last Minecraft update video, so if you want to hear about some of the other stuff that I realized when looking at the eggs, then please do take a look at that. The beacon beam is now way easier to see because it will now go up to 2048 blocks up in the sky instead of the only 1024 that it did before. And as you can see here, when we back up, it actually gets thicker the further away we are, so it's way easier to see in distance. The dead bush can now be placed on farmland, just like everything else that can be placed on all dirt blocks. This just wasn't the case for the dead bushes, but now it is. Fire will now no longer spread if no player is within 8 chunks, so hopefully we should see it stopping. It's really going crazy at the moment. 8 chunks is where you need to go, and I think it just stopped right there, yeah. Now the fire is still moving, but it's not burning down anything, so we are now 8 chunks away and the fire will not spread. So you will be able to see if something has caught fire, but it will not damage anything before you're close enough to be able to do something about it. Even when wearing leather boots, players will now fall through powdered snow if you fall more than 2.5 blocks down. Pale gardens now generally spawn bigger biomes, and even though I have yet to see it, they should also be able to spawn woodland mansions inside of them. In all cold biomes, like all taiga biomes and all windswept biomes, there will now be new variants of cows, chicken, pigs, and this is also where the black sheep will be the most common to see. In all warm biomes, just like the savanna, jungle, and badlands biomes, there will be another new variant of the cow, chicken, pig, and in these biomes will be where the brown sheep is the most likely to spawn. And finally, all the good old variants that we know and love from Minecraft, they will still spawn in all temperate biomes, which includes the plains, forests, swamps, and cherry grove. As a bonus, there's also new egg variants for the new chicken. Now getting into the changed mobs, the cartographer is the first one that we will talk about, and as you can see here, all prices and number of items has been adjusted in what they are selling. A woodland mansion map and also a globe banner pattern are now guaranteed at master level. There are also banners guaranteed at expert level with different colors depending on what biome you are trying to buy them in. And as a final new addition, cartographers will also sell maps to other village types, jungle temples, and also witch huts. The selection is based on, once again, what biome you are trying to trade this in. Another changed mob is the Wandering Trader, and his prices and number of items has also been adjusted. And as you can see, there are way more trade options than there used to be. He will now also buy stuff for emeralds, and that includes water bottles, water buckets, milk buckets, fermented spider eyes like this, baked potatoes, and also hay bales. Something new is that he will sell all kinds of logs. Sometimes he will also sell enchanted iron pickaxes and the potion of invisibility. As already mentioned, the most common sheep in the warm biomes is the brown one. The black one is the most common in the cold biomes, and it is still the white sheep that is the most common in all temperate biomes like the plains. But another new feature of the sheep is that when shearing them, now you will actually be able to see what color they were before they were sheared. This has been a feature on Bedrock for a long time, but it is new here on Java and I absolutely love it. This update also brings a new change to the wolves. The wolves. This update also brings a new change to the wolves once again. Now when they spawn they get one of 7 sound personalities, deciding the sound of their barks, pants, whimpering and so on. And the personalities are big, cute, pucklin, angry, grumpy, sad and classic. And if you want to hear any of these sounds, I don't want to find all of them, but in one of my earlier Minecraft update videos I did show an example of each one of these personalities. Camels now spawn free roaming the desert and not only in the desert villages like before. All farmland animals, that is the cow, sheep, chicken and pig, should be able to also now spawn in the Badlands, but I haven't been able to find any, so, well, it should be a feature. The mushroom now has a new improved model to match the new model of the temperate cow. Creakings can now be name tagged, and that will actually make them survive if you set the time today, of course. Now it actually doesn't die or disappear, even though it's daytime, because it is name tagged. And finally, zombified piglins must be killed by a player to drop XP and any of their rare loot. So when just falling from a height here, it is only the gold nuggets and the rotten flesh that will come out of it. But if killed by a player, as you will see here, we both got XP, and of course we have the chance of them to drop something more rare, like a full golden sword. We already have a little bit of information on the next update, and that is, for an example, that we will now get some way of locating other players on multiplayer servers. And I will of course make sure to cover all of the new updates for the next update that will be after this one. And with that, I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, then please do leave a like and make sure to subscribe to not miss any of the other update videos that I do, and maybe even comment your favorite new feature of the update down in the comments below. With all that out of the way, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.